Hey, it's Lockie, and today I have a review of the Nitro cannon. This is one of the boards that you either want or you don't, but either way, there isn't much like it at all. It comes in two sizes, big and really big, at 173 centimeters and 203 centimeters. I've ridden both, but spent much more time on the 203. They have a tapered swallowtail shape, and on both sizes there's 8mm of taper, which means that the nose is 8mm wider than the tail. It has the cam out camber profile, which is pretty much a traditional camber profile that's toned down a little bit at the nose and the tail of the board. The idea of that is you'll get the benefits of regular camber, which are a solid and stable feel when you're riding fast, good pop, strong edge hold, but with a little more forgiveness, so it won't force you to be super precise all the time. The cannon has a progressive side cut, which is a large radius circle that blends into a smaller one near the tail. It makes starting a turn smooth and easy and wants you to accelerate at the end of the turn. I rode both of these boards in Australia with Nitro Team and 1 bindings, though the most time was spent on the big one with my Burton Cartel X bindings. I'm 6 foot tall, 70 kilos or 155 pounds, and was riding this with size 9.5 Vans infused boots. At slow speeds, it's hard work. You have to put in way more effort to move the huge nose and tail around, though that does change once you get moving. The faster you go, the better. That's when it gets really good. Swapping edges is still pretty quick because it isn't a super wide board. For me, I found it was by far the most solid board I've ridden when you're riding really fast and doing big, wide open turns. It doesn't matter if halfway through the turn you know there's going to be an icy patch, you can power through pretty much everything without knowing what's there. It doesn't mean it won't make tight turns, because it will, but if I had a surprise or needed to make a sudden turn, I would definitely be skidding it around. The speed that you can get on the cannon is going to be close to unbeatable. Even compared to very stiff race boards, I was the most confident on this one at any speed. It doesn't ever have that feeling like if something goes slightly wrong it's going to kill you, and you don't need to put in a ton of effort to make sure you're swapping edges neatly. On runs where I would normally have to slow down a little to handle some bumps, on this you can just smash through everything. It's almost silly what sort of stuff you can ride through, and I kept looking for things that I could ride straight over to see if I noticed the board feeling anything at all. A bunch of this footage is filmed in the late afternoon on a warm spring day, and it was slow and slushy enough that riding other boards became painfully slow. Didn't seem to affect the cannon at all. Its speed stayed the same no matter what the snow was like. I was able to get it through some medium-sized moguls, but it's hard work and I had to try pretty hard to keep the nose pointing in the right direction. If I gave up, I could easily just ride straight over everything, which would be pretty tough to do on any other board. Because it is so big, it does get a lot of attention. There are always people asking about it or trying to get on the lift with you to talk about it. I would say this is now the most fun board I've been on. It makes boring terrain interesting again, and I was always wanting to try something new just to see how the board will handle it. It's a bit more of a pain to get in and out of cars, and good luck travelling with it, but it's one of those boards that if you want it, you'll find a way to make it work. I would also go for the 203 over the 173. If you're going to get a long board, you might as well get a really long one. If you have any questions about the cannon or any other boards you're looking at, leave them in the comments. And subscribe if you want to see any more snowboard reviews. Thanks.